I've scoured the internet for Kyokushin karate, and by scouring the internet, I mean searching Kyokushin karate onto Instagram Reels. I'm George Hardwick, 13 and 3 professional MMA fighter, and let's break down some Kyokushin crazy today, knockouts, training, and more. So, first, here we've got the classic two touch high kick. You see this in K1, in kickboxing, from legends like Rokia Anpo and Taiyo Asahisa from that Kyokushin background. So, a lot of body punching, hands go a little bit lower, and then he mixes in that right low kick into left high kick. Doesn't matter that he falls to his back because this Kyokushin karate, there's no grounded strikes. What's effective about this as well is that kick doesn't come at a completely side angle. It comes up maybe more like 45 degrees. Boom. It doesn't actually blast through the head. It knocks the side of the temple, which makes it really difficult to guard. If it's coming just around the side, it'll take a little bit longer, and possibly that arm will be in a position to defend it. It'll hit directly onto the forearm, but because it's coming up at this 45-degree angle, it chips over the forearm, and it kind of takes a chip out the temple rather than blasting straight through it. So we go back a little bit. I'm guessing he's been landing this right low kick throughout the fight because that's generally how you set it up. I remember a Jack Slack article comparing Don Young Kim jumping up, doing scissor kicks, and Lyoto Machida's scissor kick knockout on Randy Couture. The difference was Lyoto Machida established his left side to set up a right scissor kick. Dong Hyun Kim was just throwing it mad. But Dong Hyun Kim in that era, untouchable. Now here, what do we see? A left high kick, and he uses the force. Big nice frame to keep him away. Let's break down this left high kick. It's not concussive, just toes on the end of the temple. You can see it kind of annoys his opponent more than it does hurt him. But let's look at the movement frame by frame here. Boom. As he throws his left straight into the chest, that's when he pulls his left foot back. Switch. So simultaneous. He's not doing one after the other. Because it's simultaneous, it's nice and quick. Another aspect of this is because it's going into the chest, it works on the head, but because it's going into the chest, it's going to knock his opponent away from his guard. So his chest is flying back and his chin's going to fly back concomitantly, and his hands are going to fly forward. So his hands fly forward, his head flies back, and it makes room for that left high kick. It just catches toes to temple, and then he does this cool little use the force loop to keep him away. Kind of accentuates the score as well, and makes it for a cool little reel. There's a guy in the back with a shirt that just says Raw on it. I like shirts that just say one word. I have a shirt that just says Beans on it. I used to have two, but I gave one away. This is a nice little combo. Looks very flashy, but it kind of works on the same basics you'll see in boxing. One strike corrals him into the next. So that wheel kick, obviously you throw a right wheel kick, it's going to land, it's going to force an opponent into their left, which is going to set you up to throw a round strike into that direction. So wheel kick, steps down into tornado kick. Few things about it. So see how he starts here, orthodox, right heel back. That's going to make the quickest trajectory to throw the right wheel kick. So he's going to throw this right wheel kick, turns, and when he lands, he's landing southpaw. Actually, a little bit easier to throw that lead tornado kick, the tornado kick from the lead foot. Less distance to travel overall because he's bringing that foot back and around. So it's like he starts southpaw and then he starts orthodox and ends up southpaw, switching stance from kick just to make this tornado kick a little quicker. Few important things to note. If you're a padman and you want to hold for high kicks, you want to hold for wheel kicks, these flashy techniques, a few little tips. One, use big pads like this guy's using. Huge pads, almost covers the elbow as well, which is more ideal, less chance of getting healed onto the forearm. Very risky to use like a little focus mitt for it. Or use paddles. And when you take it, don't try and meet force with force. Just let your arm go like water, go like bamboo. Just let it get knocked to the side. The more you resist and tense your arm, the more you're going to just knacker your rotator cuff. Here's a brilliant rhythm drill, discipline drill, body conditioning drill. There's possibly some people out there who go, no, these kids are too young for that. Nonsense. The kids I'm seeing coming through the doors thinking they're going to be great MMA fighters, spending all the time in the changing room, need this discipline. These hard drills. Boom, boom, boom. Really good technique on both these punches. See how they force the opposite shoulder back. So see how he's throwing a left hand, this right shoulder is forced way back. He's throwing a left hand, this right shoulder forced way back. If you want a really good punch off of your left side, whether it's a hook, whether it's a cross, think about the right shoulder going back and vice versa. And look at the death stare this kid's giving him. Just the focus and intensity. It's brilliant to see. Much better than this, tick-tocking and nonsense. And then kids come in and want to do takedowns, but they don't know how to do a forward roll. Here's a really, really nice counter. He's going to counter the low kick with his own wheel kick, turning hook kick to the head. A few nice little details about this. So one of the things that makes this effective is how the low kicker returns his stance and how the man who's going to throw the wheel kick absorbs it to allow him to go into the strike. So he takes this low kick, boom, and then goes into the wheel kick. See how he just lets the low kick knock his leg offline? He's kind of being loose like bamboo, like we're talking about. He's letting it knock him offline to hide the switch into that turning hook kick. Boom. So we've spoke about this before, especially a lot of Kyokushin's very square stance and a lot of kickboxing's very square stance. It's hard to transition from that square stance into a more bladed stance where it's good to throw those spinning kicks in a disguised way. Obviously, if you just turn from a square stance to a bladed stance naked, it's very obvious. But he's disguising his little shift of a stance type from square to bladed by just allowing that low kick to knock him across. If we look at the low kicker, as that leg comes back, his body is going to open up to that wheel kick on this side because he's going to land into orthodox, so that right wheel kick blasts into the open side, and he's kind of getting hit the moment that foot touches the floor, so he hasn't got his base yet. Foot touches the floor, barely got time to brace for that impact. See how he loses his stance, he panics. If you're getting hit on one leg, you're going to panic, you're going to lose your stance. Black and white because it's really cool, and we see a similar principle here. Taking the low kick on the intended target, the thigh, the vastus medialis, but allowing it, just absorbing the force and reciprocating with a high kick. So here we see the man throwing the low kick is he's going to throw this low kick, boom, into this point here, but as he brings his foot back, it's very natural. You kick with either leg, whatever your stance is, you bring the leg that's kicked behind, that's going to leave him open for this high kick. He's going to absorb the impact on this leg. Just let him take it out to the side, and that's just going to add momentum into his high kick here. Takes a kick, boom, and because there was some straight punches before, a flurry of straight punches to the chest, it's going to knock his opponent's guard back, his chin back, so he's open for that high kick, and then he's going to just step into it. Very nice. The straight punches also prepare the arms for the swing. Now here's some high kick defense. You could discuss the differences between this and more classic Dutch style low kick counter to the high kick. Low kick's really good counter to the high kick because if you're throwing your leg all the way up there for a high kick, it's going to take a long time for that leg to come back to the floor. So there's a lot of time to bash that low kick in, and it's going to be very hard for them to brace. But he's taking it on one arm, which is always risky, but it's mitigated. He's ameliorated this by taking it one arm and stepping away from the kick. He's not stepping into the kick in this point. Because he's stepping across, he takes some force off the kick. Boom. And again, Kyokushin can be viewed as a very just brute force conditioning against conditioning thing. And there's a lot of conditioning needed. But if we see a lot of these kick counters, it's a lot about absorbing the force and coming back with the appropriate shot. Absorbing the force and coming back with a low kick. Absorbing the force and just letting it lead into your high kick or your wheel kick. Very effective. There's a lot of absorbing force, being pliable, not just relying purely on conditioning. There's a lot of nuance and technique to it. Here's double switch kick, but he goes to the body, and when he lands orthodox and throws like a bolo punch. It's really nice because these shots are coming around the side, opens up the elbow for him to just dig this shot through the middle. So these shots widen the elbows. The two-touch low kick into body kick. Nice just to see some more reps here. And then that kind of gets an outside foot position so he can really leverage into a bolo punch. The way to view that kind of a punch is not to view it as a punch with the arm. Just view it as a kick. Same hip movement as a kick, but it's just the arm that shoots up. Here is that Joaquin Buckley style spinning two-touch kick when the opponent catches. Very good to have these kind of options. Looks very flashy, but it's very good to have a spin option off that, because if you want to throw those left kicks, chances are you're going to get a lot of people, whether it's MMA, whether it's K1, whether it's Kyokushin, cross-parrying that kick. So it's good to have a spin, and you need options if you can't get that leg back. So good to have a spinning kick to the face if you're controlled enough for it. Look how this kid, who's like 6 or 7 or whatever, is doing this kick brilliantly. I don't trust most people to kick my Thai pads with a basic body kick, but really nice. One padded there again. Use a big pad if you can, if you're padding heel kicks, wheel kicks, high kicks. And we've got to end the video with this legend, Hajime Kazumi. If you've not seen this guy before, he was a Kyokushin karate champion, known for low kicks. He would just brutally hunt low kicks. It's very interesting. In a sport known for axe kicks and wheel kicks and two-touch kicks and head kicks, he'd pretty much never kick above the waist. He'd body punch and low kick. Supreme conditioning, and he just had this variety of kicking every single target inside of each leg. There, his opponent throws an axe kick, and if you're going to throw an axe kick, maybe a difficult technique to throw against someone so good at the low kick, because your leg's going to be in the air for a long time. High kicks as well. We see, I'm pretty sure it's Francisco Filo, that Hajime Kazumi stops with low kicks. A guy who loves his high kicks, loves his question mark kicks, Brazilian kicks, whatever. And you just blast that leg, absorb the impact on his arms and blast that leg. And it takes so long. There he finishes him with an inside low kick. Boom, boom. Outside, inside. It's just ridiculous. And that's something we see in Kyokushin, that variety of combination kicking to the legs. Kick every target. Brilliant. So, I've been George Hardwick. I've been looking at some Kyokushin karate, or if James Brown did it, Kyokushin karate. Look at the Patreon if you want to support the channel. It's not there, but it might give me a slice of pizza. Subscribe. Do all the other algorithmic nonsense that people always ask. I think the technical term for it is a CTA, a call to action. But my call to action is go and train. It's early in the morning. The oven says it's 8:09. Yes, I'm recording it in the kitchen. It's 8:09. There's a blueberry muffin staring me at the face. Can I have a blueberry muffin at 8:09 after I've just had 2 breakfasts? Or will it make me feel a bit sick when I hit pads? Let me know in the comments below.